Masjid is a center of spirituality, education, and a social hub for the community. In the times of the Blessed Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, the masjid lay at the heart of society and was not just a place of sanctuary and prayer, but also a thriving educational institution. Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, is reported to have said, "Whoever builds a masjid for Allah, be it large or small, Allah will build for him a house in paradise." Sunnah al-Tirmidhi. The role of the masjid has always been instrumental in the educational, social and moral uplifting of the Muslim community. Please donate by visiting childrenofadam.net or call us on 0300 321 0032.
Had a car accident or an accident at work? Accident specialists are experts in no-win, no-fee accident claims. Leave the hassle to us. Our multilingual settlement experts will manage the entire claims process on your behalf, with nothing to pay up front. We provide services such as credit hire, taxi vehicles, recovery, storage and much more. For full details on our range of services and a free consultation, call us on 01733 555 774 or visit our office at 249 Lincoln Road opposite the NatWest Bank. Accident Specialists. Start your successful claim today.
Ever thought of joining the fire service? We will be recruiting for firefighters in September, so why not come along to the next two information sessions on the 31st of July and the 7th of August, 11 till 1 p.m. at Allama Iqbal Centre, 157 Cromwell Road, Peterborough, PE1 2EL. Booking is not essential, so do come along and find out more about the role, process and how to apply. For more information, call Fazana Qusair on 07825 506 691. We value diversity and actively encourage applications from all sections of the community. You could soon be starting your firefighting career, serving communities across Cambridgeshire.
Feel like some great tasting chicken tonight? Great meal deals, wraps, burgers and sides. We've got it all at Chicken Palace. Call and collect at 302 Lincoln Road on 01733 702 447 or 8 Park Road on 01733 343750. Chicken Palace, open 11 a.m. till late.
If you're planning a boutique celebration, there's only one choice, Mumtaz Leeds. From boutique weddings to engagement parties, birthdays to work dues, with seating for up to 300 people, a perfect location and free car park. Plus, we have a private dining suite for 80 people with a beautiful waterfront view. Pre-wedding teas, parties and breakfasts also available. Mumtaz Leeds. Call 0113 242 4211.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم أرأيت الذي يكذب بالدين فذلك الذي يدع اليتيم ولا يحض على طعام المسكين فويل للمصلين الذين هم عن صلاتهم ساهون الذين هم يراءون ويمنعون الماعون.
If you want to learn about Islam and Muslims, stay tuned to Salam Radio 106.2 FM.
Good evening, everybody. This is Sukhi Wahiwala, your host this evening on a Tuesday. Yes, I'm back and I'm live. We're here once again on Salam Radio and our world famous, I'd like to say that, but I don't think it's quite there yet, but our world famous The Empower Hour show. Our vision is to bring individuals who are healed, who have been places, who have achieved things in the world, but then have also had the good heart to open up how their journey was in a true manner, not just what social media sees and the world sees, and they're here to get close and nitty-gritty with us, to share all that love and change within us. This evening we're not going to let you down in the slightest. So before I introduce my tremendous guest this evening, and when you hear the lineup of the individuals that he has worked with, and it's going to be mind-blowing, to be honest. It's what an amazing guest to come back to. I'm going to give you his name. His name's Simon Smith, but I shall give you much more in a second. So you know the drill. So today, if you'd like to get involved with us in any way, please do. It's text or WhatsApp on 077 45278 978. Alternatively, if you want to speak to Simon directly, maybe you want to learn a little bit about how you can get into the music industry, how you can get into the video industry, those sort of things, then please contact us on 01733 602 133. That's direct into the main studio itself. And you know the drill. We are live on Facebook Live, and you can watch it right now. We've started something new. Now we're live 5 minutes, if not 3 minutes before the time it becomes active with sound. So it gives you a bit of time to find us, to share the link with all the people who want to hear it with us as well, and then communicate with us during our Facebook Live and our YouTube Live showings. So without any further ado, I think I'm really lucky today, actually. And boy, I've had on an honest basis, I've had a beautiful, enlightening conversation just only an hour ago with my good friend here, Simon Smith. Simon Smith is the name that is behind so many strong brands out there within the film production industry, but he just hasn't cottoned onto the fact that his name also needs to be known. So if you're a Bhangra industry follower, you'll know Simon's name from years ago, whether it's Cam Frantic, whether it's Jags Climax, whether it's Sukshinder, Shinda, and a number of others there. He has done videos after videos after videos, and he's best mates with a lot of them as well. We'll get to find out in a moment. Simon has been involved with companies such as, it's even some of the largest companies on the planet. We're talking Disney, we're talking Marvel. Now, all of you absolute anoraks out there know that Marvel and Disney have now merged together, but we're talking about an era when they weren't. He's worked with BBC, ITV. He's worked with my favourite clothes brand, who I'm waiting for a sponsorship on still to this day. If you can see in the camera, his name's Luke. So Luke, I'm calling upon you. No, I'm only joking, guys. It's a tremendous honour to have you here this evening, Simon. Welcome to the show.
Sukhi, what an absolute pleasure to be here on this grand Tuesday evening. Thank you for inviting me, and welcome back. Welcome back to your own show.
Welcome back to my own show. Yeah, hey, it really has been a lovely month in August to be away, nice. Spending time with the family and the kids.
Awesome.
And I hope everybody's still following me in the same way. So you can see me, I think, hopefully from that camera there, and you can see Simon from the other camera there as well. Do get involved, do connect. He is here for an open-hearted conversation, and the Empower Hours show is dedicated to you, the audience, who really want to know how to get past the current challenge that you may be facing. So, without further ado, Simon, you've worked in such an amazing field and body of work. Yeah. So you just need to Google yourself, simonsmith.com, or is it .co.uk?
Well, simonsmith.media is the website.
Yes.
But I'm very much behind the scenes these days. I think I'm kind of best known for the Bhangra music videos I've been involved with over the years.
Wow.
Under a brand called Ballistic Productions, a lot of people know.
Oh my goodness! Now that's something I didn't even know just a moment ago. Yeah. So Ballistic, of course, we all knew Ballistic. That was you.
That was me. Yeah.
Yes, I had Ballistic in the house day. Yeah. Oh wow. Really
we've been involved in making so many videos, and we've been very vocal on that scene, and it's been awesome to be a part of that.
Tremendous. Yeah. I'm gonna. It can't have all have been just plain sailing. Now, I'm going to talk a little bit about your background, if I can.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah? And I know you're not used to being in front of the camera, Simon, but I do not apologise. I spent the last hour speaking to you. I had the humble journey of being able to share my life in that small period of time with yourself, to just get understanding you. Boy, have I met somebody who's got such a heightened self-awareness of life.
Thank you.
And of what it's all about. It's not just about the production, the money, and all that comes.
Yeah.
But it's about getting that focus together. So, but before you became this healed individual, there has to have been a different Simon.
There was.
How, what was your life like? I mean, was it always plain sailing? When you said, "Hey, Mum, guess what I'm going to be doing today? I've decided that I'm going to become the world's famous TV producer, and I'm going to become a creative." Did she say, "Oh, well done, son. Good job"?
So, growing up from a very young age, I had the insight that this is what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
Which was a huge blessing, because I know not many people have that kind of insight, right, so early on. So from the age of kind of 13, 14, we didn't have a camcorder at home because we couldn't afford one.
And for the kids who are just listening and don't even know what a camcorder is,
It's that thing you have on your phone these days.
A camcorder is very similar to the phone, but it's a lot larger in those days.
Yeah.
And it used to play on a magnetic tape. So do Google it, please.
And yeah, so me and a good friend from school, we used to get his camcorder and we'd shoot these little home movies, you know. And I kind of knew at that age, this is what I'm going to do with my life. I'm going to go out and I'm going to create films and media, and you know, it's going to be amazing. And this is what I want to dedicate my life to. This is going to be my career. I was that focused, you know.
What, really? At such a young age?
At such a young age,
what sort of age are you talking here?
13, 14.
13,
Yeah.
14 years old,
Yeah.
and you're telling me that you had an understanding of where you wanted to be in life.
Yeah. And I think, you know, it's one of those things. I was always going to go into that direction. So I kind of just had this natural ability to go out and film and put things together without even having the knowledge or the training to do so, you know, in those early days.
I think there's a little gift there, some little tickle there, because, you know, most people at 13, 14 years old are still trying to work out what they want to
figure out,
what they want to do tomorrow, let alone what they want to do with the rest of their life, kind of thing. So what sort of buzz did you get from being behind the camera then?
I think, you know, I love to. So I grew up enjoying films like most people do, right? And one of the defining moments was actually, I was a huge Jackie Chan fan growing up.
Yeah, so
Yeah. And you remember at the end credits, right? They used to show the behind the scenes, like the mistakes, and you know.
I can remember
back
that.
in those days, we didn't have YouTube, right, to go in and Google what a film set looked like. And that was a glimpse into that world, you know. And I remember seeing Jackie Chan standing on a rooftop in the middle of China, surrounded by cameras. I was like, I want to do that. That looks
my
like a job,
goodness.
you know.
So that was literally like a buzz.
Yeah. And so I went out and started doing it, you know, off my own back, which kind of developed into taking it seriously. And upon leaving school, I joined a film school.
Oh, so you actually took, logically you did, but, you know, what sort of, where were you, you're based in, you grew up in Walsall, right?
Wolverhampton.
Wolverhampton,
Yeah.
okay.
So from Wolverhampton, and of course not many film directors come from Wolverhampton.
Well, this one does,
and
he's the best. You remember that one.
Well, thank you, Sukhi. Thank you. And so yeah, so it was challenging in the early days because I was going out there and saying, yeah, I want to be a film director. I want to go to Hollywood, to LA, travel the world, and of course nobody believed that I could do that. You know,
because you know you faced some kind of friction from being hometown Wolverhampton.
Yeah.
And was that something? Because this is a really valid point. I think it's going to be a beautiful conversation to have. Just a second.
Mm-hmm.
So sorry to distract you there a little bit. Does that mean that people were not supportive of that kind of genre in that time? I mean, was it serious? Was it taken seriously or not?
No, because you know that was for the elites and the people in Hollywood who who had done the serious training and you know gone to the New York Film School, and you know it wasn't for us from a small town in Wolverhampton to go and achieve those kind of dreams. And we were talking off air, right? It's so much so that my careers advisor at school laughed me out of the room. You know, this
is a story that I think everybody could kind of really take so much from, because we're going to look at the strength, or should I say the conviction that you had in what you wanted to do in life. So just, if I may go back to a conversation of, you're saying the career teacher,
the careers
advisor herself, actually laughed at you when you said what you wanted to be. So just tell us about the story, please.
So we had a careers day at school. It was coming to the end of our school kind of life, and we had the careers advisor come in, and everyone had their 20 minutes with her to tell her what we were going to do after school. And I went in and I said, okay, I'm going to go out and be a film director. I'm going to make movies. I'm going to travel the world. And she burst out laughing.
My goodness.
And I was 15 at the time, and I was shocked. I thought, wow, how unprofessional,
Really?
I did, yeah.
Now, that's a very mature outlook, because I'm sure many careers advisors, and I'm just making a very clear caveat here, this is not a blind conversation for the children to think that careers advice people don't support children. They're the best action that you've got between now and your future career. But just so happens that that particular person on that particular day didn't really understand, and probably also due to the era. We are talking about the 90s, right?
Yeah.
So it's a different era, and maybe they had a different attitude towards it. But I'm hoping the industry's sharpened up, because I had a previous careers advisor on this show, and impeccable, amazing individual.
Well, actually, once I did leave school, I went to see another careers advisor at a college, and she was fantastic. She took it really seriously. She helped everywhere she could. So yeah, absolutely.
I get it. So, but Simon, there's something really important there, because I'm sure a 13-year-old, stroke 14 or 15-year-old, would take a very strong dejection, against somebody laughing at them, possibly in front of their friends, about the career that they had thought that this is where I'm going to go. What effect did this have on you? Because you're either going to be affected by it or robust by it, right?
So I, throughout my life, any kind of negative things that have come my way, I've turned them into positives,
Wow.
And for her to kind of have that response kind of made me even more determined. Okay, I'll show you. That kind of
wow.
That kind of attitude.
That's a tremendous message back for the next generation.
Well, absolutely. I mean, you've got to be that way, right? There's positive and negative in any situation. If you can always turn to the positive, and not be rejected or feel down or okay, maybe she's right, because what you want to attain and be in life takes effort, right? It takes great effort. And we've all got our passions, we've all got our dreams, and people will trust those passions and dreams every single day.
Yeah.
And if you start taking on that negativity, you're not going to go anywhere fast.
So what I think of gets bigger.
Exactly.
In essence, yeah. But for a 15-year-old, I'm specifically thinking there'll be friends, there'll be individuals, there'll be maybe parents, who don't mean bad by their children at all, because most parents that I understand want the best for their child.
Speaking of parents, my mum didn't support that decision.
Wow.
She was like, no, this is ridiculous. Go to college, get a degree. As parents were, but it came from a good place. It came from it was a place of fear. She wanted me to do well in life, be secure, and have financial security and all that stuff.
That makes so much sense.
But I had that conviction. I was like, no one's going to stop me pursuing what I want to pursue. This is my love, my passion, and I will do this.
And I'm going to share something with yourself, audience and team. I've been spending some time now with Simon, and I'm going to say that, his jolliness, it's not put on. It's a real ambience that comes from an inner soul energy, and I've thoroughly enjoyed that conversation. When he's saying that he just took it and turned it into a positive for himself, I don't doubt it. There's never been. Nothing seems to be phasing him, and that's such a beautiful thing. Now, in the second half of today, and I know just to let everybody know, we've got a slightly shorter second half. We're going to be finishing at 7:51 due to a prayer time. That in the second half, we're going to touch a little bit about what makes Simon and his journey more robust than when others, we sort of falter or fade. What made him so robust? But we'll touch on that spirituality a bit later in the second half, if you can still stay with us for that period of time. So Simon, bringing us back to mum. A mum, as you just suggested, wants the best for their child.
Yeah.
Wants them to be secure, safe in essence. Wants them to be financially secure, but also not jump from pillar to post. Yeah. So when you say creative, in this day and age, we see a very different picture to the 90s. Because in the 90s, being creative was a no hope. How did you get past it? What did mum say to you? Did you just say, look, mum, I know where I'm going, please?
Absolutely. I mean, she became so supportive after she saw the action that I was taking, right? To manifest something into the world, we have to take action. So I didn't just keep it as a thought. I was like, okay, where do I go next? And I had goals and I had targets that had all come from my own thinking. And I was lucky enough to have a film school that was local to me. It was called the Lighthouse Media Centre. It was in Wolverhampton.
Wolverhampton, the Lighthouse Media Centre.
The Lighthouse Media Centre. They're still around. They're operating as a cinema, not so much as a training facility. But back then, they had a lot of government funding, which bought them all this incredible equipment. They had like a really high-end edit suite. They had great cameras. And I went there and I trained there under this really great tutor. His name was Paul Owens.
Paul Owens, a little shout out to you there.
Not spoken to for many years, but I learned so much from this guy. And and I learned so much from the hands-on approach and from the team there.
So when sometimes you get tutored.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm sure people are in this space as well. You get a teacher. Now, I'm a strong believer that the teacher has the responsibility of unlocking that child.
Yeah.
What was that journey with yourself? Because you're a 15, 17-year-old who's embarked on an industry journey which no one really understands.
Yeah.
Truly. even mum saying, "What are you up to?" You know, I don't think you're. I think you're skiving. You're going somewhere and you're just playing music all day long and stuff like that. So, how did Paul ignite you?
Well, he was a very straightforward guy, and you go out and you would create something, and he would rip it to shreds. You know,
Oh, wow.
But actually, I actually love that because I learned so much from that process. Because it was criticism, but it was constructive. It was never just because he was not a nice guy. It was always because he had something to say.
I hope the audience is getting something magical from that conversation.
That was a great thing because that can deter you. But really, like, you know, he was doing his job as a tutor to be like, no, look at this, look at that, that's not right, look at this, and
beautiful.
And I'd be like, wow, like this is gold.
So you would like seeing it as this
So,
is I'm going somewhere.
Yeah.
Wow.
And that's the thing. I think if you come across someone with real knowledge, you know, they'll get it across in the way they need to, right? And I myself have been a teacher as well over the years. I've taught media, camera work, lighting.
Oh, that's just tremendous.
And it's great being a teacher because you also learn so much being a teacher.
So I'm going to flip this then, Simon. What you learned from Paul and his technique, because you don't come across that same in your face.
Yeah.
What did you change, or what did you feel that was valuable to pass on to the next generation? Because you've helped people through camera work, through editing, through using the sweet technicalities we call it. Yes. So please.
I mean, first of all, you want to empower people, right? They're trying to do something. They're trying to achieve something. I think people need credit for that. You know, when they go out to the world and they want to be creatives, you've got to support that vision. And then, you know, where I come in as a professional is you have to break it down. You know, from your point of view, how they can improve to attain that professionalism, right?
Yes.
What are you? But you have to try and make them see it through their own eyes.
I love it.
It's all good. You can see it, but can they see it? And that's what you need to bring out in somebody.
Wow. And I assume because your connection with myself in this conversation has been tremendous, and I'm feeling a vibration. I'm feeling all I want to do is smile right now. So I'm getting that beam right now. So
that's what the hour's all about, right?
Isn't it?
Yeah.
Isn't it just? So here in a conversation with you again, you're helping other people. You've been sharing with them, but you know, how did you manage to balance your work-life relationship in the sense of you're helping individuals? So I'm not suggesting you would have got paid handsomely for helping individuals. That would have come from a different heart-centered environment.
Yeah.
But then you've also got this professional element of your life and your business, which is production and creation, which I think is it's a necessity of life because we visualize as human beings. We visualize everything, and if the visualization is on point and clear and on to an end agenda, a hypothesis, there is no better medium to pass the information over.
Yeah.
So the question is that how did you manage to keep these two things separate, or how did you manage to amalgamate them?
Well, I mean, I went off and I worked hard. You know, that was the first thing. I worked hard. I made connections, and gradually I started to make a living doing what I was loving doing. You know, I was being a creative freelancer, and I was going out into the world, and I started charging people. You know,
and that's the key thing there, guys.
That's the key thing, right? Because it is about making a living, and I think people feel that creatives struggle in that arena. But it's like any business, you've got to be savvy. You've got to understand where the revenue comes from, how you make that transition, how you make that money. I mean, you know, there's some artists out there that make a lot of money, you know.
Yes.
Directors, camera operators. And we're living in a time where it's all about
visual.
You know, visual, yeah. Video, photography, you know, on social media platforms. So it's more diverse, and it's more than ever.
Now, in this particular scenario, I know that your presence on social media is not so great yet, but you're working with some PR agencies and stuff to re-establish that, and you've just started recently, I think, on Instagram. Is that right?
Yeah.
So, what's your Instagram handle?
It is thetruthwithin.life.
So, the truth within
.life.
.life.
Yeah.
Wow. So the truth within .life is his Instagram handle if you want to touch base. And obviously that inspires us to ask about questions of where that came from, but we'll cover that towards the latter half of the second half of the conversation. So you're holding on to something. You're about to say something, weren't you?
No.
Okay. So here's the question which I've got poised in my brain, which sits there. So as the audience is sitting there thinking about how they can get to this industry, or they're in this industry, and I know so many individuals who are not making money.
Yeah.
So what was the model that you inspired. How did you manage that? Because you've got a whole repertoire of individuals that you've got to manage. Was it just as simple as a finger in the air, if you could see me, and just pricing it out?
There was a thought process behind it, right? And that thought process was to go out into the world and create a product that you could then go and sell to other clients, right?
Yep.
And first of all, you're going to have to do that for free. You've got no product to show people, or no service to show people. So I spent a good portion of my early years doing freebies, free work.
Good to remember that.
But there's value in that, right? There's value in going and doing that. One is experience, and two, you've got something to show other people.
Content.
Yeah. And then obviously you don't start charging thousands the following day. You go out and you set like a nice level where you can get people interested. They don't have to pay too much, and everyone's happy. You get more experience and you get a little bit of income. And over the years, as you gain experience, that starts to go up, and that can be a very quick turnaround. Some people can work that out within a 12-month period or less.
And you said something really beautiful earlier on as well about getting that price sensitivity right.
Yeah.
But you said it was individual. So it depends on what your requirements are. If you're a single parent, if you're etc.
Absolutely, we were talking earlier about circumstance. And so this is actually a good time to bring in my own circumstances.
Please.
Which was at the age of up until 20, I was still living at home with my mum and dad. And at 20, they went through a really horrible divorce.
Bless.
My mum and dad separated, and it was a really hard time for the family. My mum had a breakdown, my dad turned to alcohol. That was a very real scenario that happened in my life.
God bless.
And I've got two younger brothers, and so it was we lost the family home, and all of a sudden we found ourselves out on the streets. It's like, okay, now we've got other stuff to figure out, and in figuring that out, me and my brothers, we got a place together, and we had to borrow from people, and you go through that hardship. But even going through that, I promised myself I'd never let go of what I was building,
your vision,
and that vision, and it was hard. I went through poverty, and there were some days I wasn't able to eat, and but I remained true to what it was I wanted to achieve, right?
God bless.
And there's a flow to life, an ebb, right? It's up and then it's down, and then it's up again and then it's down again. So when you can persevere through these difficult times and through these hardships, there's light at the end of the tunnel, and the good times are coming.
Yeah.
So it was about that kind of perseverance, and then the good times came.
God bless.
Yeah.
And that's just such a deep conversation there, because being at home with a nuclear family in essence, and then the next stage you're talking about it, but you've got this smile on your face of kind of like, it's just, I get this feeling of not resentment, of kind of like acceptance of love that are in that space. I mean,
well, absolutely. I think the mistake we make in life is that we have expectations, right? We expect people to live a certain age. We expect certain things from our relationships with our parents or whoever it is. And I think when you have that level of expectation, life is such that you don't often get those expectations met. And I think I'm somebody I'm very open to understanding that life has those things, those curveballs that it's going to throw at you.
Wow.
And that was one of them, one of many, right? And I meet lots of people that go through those challenges and go through those ebbs and flows.
And I suppose you having gone through it really opens up that connection of deep rapport with that person, because they think that you really understand what they're going through. Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So now when I meet creatives who have been on that same journey, obviously it makes me very passionate to be like, keep going. You can do this.
Look where I am.
Done it.
Yeah, look where I am today.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so it's not all doom and gloom.
Yeah.
Beautiful conversation. I can't believe how fast the time is going. We're at 24. We've got 2 minutes left. That's it.
Yeah.
But if it's myself and my audience listening today, they're global. They come from all over the world. We have a tremendous power here. If you're listening, in a moment we're going to say bye-bye to Simon, but we're going to have him straight back in 4 minutes' time, back at 7:30 exactly. Please do tune in. Simon is a world-class producer of TV programs and editors and editorials and stuff of that sort of nature. He has worked with Disney. He has worked with Marvel. He's worked with BBC, ITV, and the line goes on and on. But he's showing how he's come from a beautiful vision has been through ebbs and flows, as is using his words, within the river ecosystem, going up, going down, going up and down. But the sheer acceptance and the power of self-will and the focus and perseverance, which is the key. And it's been tremendous having a conversation with you right now, Simon, and I'm going to have a quick break right now. Please do tune straight back into the Empower Hour here, live on Facebook Live and YouTube. Thank you.
Stay tuned to Salam Radio after this short ad break.
Where can you get high quality and low prices? Amar Food Store and Halal Meat in Lincoln Road, Triangle is the place to go. Pay us a visit and take advantage of our special offers and great range of products on groceries, vegetables, fruits and halal meat. Also send money to Pakistan absolutely free. We have all top brands at special offers, offer free customer parking and provide a free local delivery service. Amar Food Store and Halal Meat, 613B Lincoln Road, Peterborough. Call us on 01733 687 374. High in quality, low in prices.
Peterborough just got a whole lot tastier. Five Lads Flame Grilled Peri Peri Chicken is now open. Bring your family and friends to Peterborough's first HMC meat selling restaurant. We are experts in grilled chicken, lamb chops and gourmet lamb and beef burgers. Our healthy options include fresh salads and fresh grilled vegetables. Fresh, clean and healthy grilled food with 4 different flavours. Lemon and herb, medium, hot and extra hot. 5-star hygiene rating. Eat in, order and collect or order for delivery on Deliveroo. Follow 5 Lads Peterborough on Facebook and Instagram 5 Lads. 15 Cowgate, Peterborough, PE1 1LZ. Call 01733 56 22 87. Open 7 days a week, 12 to 11 p.m.
Insure 24/7 is a community-based insurance brokerage offering competitive premiums and a great service. Taxis, properties and businesses, we cover them all. Call us on 01733 856699 or visit our new office at 304 Lincoln Road. Insure 24/7. We've got you covered. Insure 24/7 is authorised and regulated by the Financial Conduct Authority.
There's a million choices available for dining out in Leeds.
But if you want something special, there's only one name to remember.
Mumtaz Leeds.
Relax in our newly refurbished Riverside restaurant.
Enjoy exquisite home cooking from our brand new menu. Upgrade to the Mumtaz Leeds experience.
And the price? Well, we're better value than ever before.
Mumtaz Leeds, Chadwick Street, Leeds, LS10 1PJ. Call 0113 242 4211.
Free car parking available.
Gems and jewels. Wise sayings, interesting events, and moral lessons from Islamic history. Who is more honored?
Ash'ath ibn Shu'abah al-Misisi related that Harun Rashid, the ruler of the time, came to Ar-Raqqa, where the people did not gather around him, but rather around Ibn Mubarak. The enormous crowds caused dust to rise, and people would lose their sandals in the rush to gather around him. The wife of the ruler asked, "Who is that?" The people responded that he was a scholar from the people of Khorasan. She replied, "By Allah, that is a kingdom, unlike Harun's, where people do not gather except with the force of the security and police." One can conclude that the honor bestowed upon a learned man far surpasses that of a ruler in the hearts of the masses.
Hello and welcome back to Salam Radio. This evening we're on the Empower Hour with Am Golha. We've had a really great half second. Good evening. This evening we are back with the Empower Hour again. So apologies for that little technical hitch there. I'm not sure what exactly happened, but somehow it was a pre-play that came up with Gola's name on there as well. But while we're talking about her, she's also been involved in this, in the PR of this program as well. So welcome back to the Empower Hour show here with myself, Sukhi Wahiwala, your host, and also Simon Smith. And I'm hoping we just switched to the microphone. Can we hear you perfectly okay?
Can you hear me okay?
Oh my goodness, that is nice and loud. Crystal clear. Absolutely crystal clear. Okay, so I hope this has been the journey that I've been wanting to show, because Simon has delivered in this world some serious excellence. Now I'm going to touch, if I can, I mean, we were talking about his journey in the first half, about how he came from 3 children, parents that split up, and all the challenges we faced with that as well. But also what's really coming through is his iron vision, his vision of keeping himself focused and keep driven with where you want to be. Now, how important has that been? I mean, has that been easy to keep a focus with, through disparity and challenges, or has it been just something that you've had to keep you working on as well?
Absolutely not. It has not been easy. It's been difficult, right? When you go through those kind of things in life, they beat you down, and you feel like giving up, and you're thinking, oh, what's the point, but I think we all have to have a purpose in life.
Yes.
We all have to follow our goals and have something to attain and work to, in order to keep going, right? Because life's not easy. It's not easy for anyone, and all of us we have our own journeys, our own struggles, our own suffering, and so it's important, just to keep yourself sane and to keep positive.
And in that context, I mean, a lot of our listeners, they're individuals who have achieved, but have also had challenges en route, and they've all got their own individual unique ways. But one of the things we'd like to do here on the Empower is to ask you how you have personally kept your mind active, because we all understand the hierarchy between mind, body and soul, and activity. What I think of gets bigger. If I have a negative attitude towards things, then obviously I attract more negativity. Now, of course, it's not about the absence of negativity or the absence of positivity. It's about managing the balance between the two. In accordance with the Sikh faith, it's about both of there. It's a matter of which one you see and which one you choose to see, right? So, well,
that's why awareness is so important, right? If you look to any successful business, they've got goals, they've got targets, which they review, right? This is important to do as an individual. You've got to have goals and targets, but you also need to give yourself that time to review. How did I do yesterday? How did I do last week? How did I do last month? And how can I make improvements? And this is something that I'm always doing on a daily basis. And it's also important to have people around you who motivate you and keep you on that right path. So you mentioned Jag's Climax earlier.
Yes, you got to hear this. If anybody's interested, Jag's Climax is one of the finest DJs and superstars of DJs. Yes, right. Yes.
So he's somebody I speak to every single day, because we have a gym program together. We're not in the same area of the country. He's in London, I'm in Wolverhampton. But we speak every day. I'm like, okay, Jags, I'm going to the gym. This is what I'm doing, and we've been on this program together. So we speak every single morning, and that's like so motivating on both sides. He gets motivated by me. I get motivated by him.
Tremendous.
And it's about that constant reviewing of what can I do better. How's my diet? Because diet's your fuel, right?
It is.
So if the fuel's not right, your machinery is not going to be working well. Focus is not going to be there. You've got to exercise. All these things you're constantly be told, do this to improve your lifestyle. You're being told for a reason.
Yes.
And everything has a synergy. If you're exercising, eating right, if you have a good spiritual discipline, which obviously we'll come to in a moment, then that keeps the focus and keeps the drive and the motivation.
This is superb. So we've got mind and we've got body. So body, meaning what you eat is what you become. So if you have lots of sugary stuff, then logically you're going to have other issues that are going to accompany your body thereafter. So you look very fit, very emotionally fit as well.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome. And it's certainly the truth. So now the question kind of rises deep here, because for this kind of a journey against the what we call popular norm, or in this now modern fad of people becoming their own personal producers and music directors and stuff of that sort of nature, you have to shine out. When somebody sees somebody who's healed, what I mean by healed is somebody who's had damage or a cut of some form, and then allowed it to actually heal over, leaving a scar. So you can see the scar's always there. It's always going to deter you from taking that action, which is what we call wisdom, which is the reflection you were just talking about a moment ago. Is acting forward and reflecting backwards to say, what have we achieved, that daily, that monthly, that annually. So the third element within your prescribed conversation right now is spirituality, isn't it?
Yeah.
So how I know, and anybody can see the video, knows that there's a massive, and I know this from today, not from before, that Simon Smith is a world producer. But something has happened. Something has shifted, and you've got another energy that's within you that's trying to get out, or has always been there, that you're starting to engage in a little more. Yeah. Would you care to share just a little bit about that, if you don't mind?
So, if I quickly skip back to childhood,
please.
Another aspect of my childhood, which I've always been very open with sharing with people, is that I grew up seeing things and experiencing things that I guess you're not meant to experience, right? Spirits or ghosts or funny lights floating around the bedroom, and yeah, and
it must have been a bit frightening as well, right?
It was terrifying. You know, and I'd have all these experiences as a child, and it stayed with me throughout my teen years, and you know, it was something that was very terrifying, but something I didn't understand, so I kind of never processed it in my mind. You know, it's like, okay, well, this doesn't align with our science. Mum and Dad don't believe in it, and
it can't be real.
Yeah, it's like, well, it wasn't even that it couldn't be real, because I'd experienced things with friends. You know, I think at the age of, obviously that's the first question you ask, is this my imagination? You know, what I'm seeing. But I had an experience when I was about 8 or 9 years old with my best friend at school, and we were standing in the garden, and I saw one of these lights, spirits, whatever it was, you know. And I turned to my friend, I'm like, "Can you see that?" He's like, "Yeah, what is it?" You know, a bit terrified of the unknown.
Both clearly saw.
Yeah, and it was nothing of this world. You know, it was nothing that you could say. The best way I could describe it was the ghost of a rabbit. You know, out there on the grass, it was daylight. It was just a bizarre experience. I'd already had those kind of experiences.
Wow.
And the thing I'm finding, Sukhi, is when I'm opening up to people about these experiences, they're coming back and they're saying, actually, I've got an experience I've never told anyone.
Yeah, come to think
because of that fear of judgment, right? Because it isn't the norm. It's not the norm. And yes, we have religion, and it tries to teach about all these different aspects of spirituality and life, you know, but when you come from, especially a Western society, it's very grounded in science, and what kind of science is teaching. You know, like, the problem with science is that it's locked into that prison of the 5 senses, you know?
Yeah, intellectual.
Yeah, what you hear, what you see, you know, touch, taste, you know, smell. But this stuff is a bit different, you know, and it requires what we call the 6th sense, right? Or the 3rd eye, or however you describe it, to perceive some of this stuff. You know, it's not to say that it's not real, but it just takes a different level of, I don't know how you would measure it, you know.
A different level of perception.
Yeah, exactly.
And experience, full stop, isn't it? Yes. So, you know, for the listeners who are thinking what's going on here,
I know it's quite a change in direction. I know. Yeah.
And I think proudly so, to be honest with you, Simon. So, the reality is that it does not mean that this does not happen. Yeah. And anybody who's worked with myself over the years, and we'll mention a few names in a moment of individuals who've helped, they know that this arena is absolutely true. Yeah. And within religion, irrelevant of which religion, they all have an inner spirituality which is based in the middle of it. Yeah. It's based foundationally on there. So the question that I'm asking myself is that most, for our children who are listening there, if you are having these kind of experiences, you know, don't be uncomfortable to share them with friends, and confided friends, people who are very close to yourself, like you did, when you shared it with your friend and said, did you see what I've just seen, or are you seeing what I'm seeing? And then also to actually share it with your parents as well. So just a little share with everybody else as well. So in context, I'm going to take it back into the film run, and then we're back into that context. I mean, how do you find, I'm sure you've had this asked from before, harking back on your experiences with things like The Sixth Sense, the movie, you know, by Night Shyamalan. So how did you find when you watched it, if you've watched it, a silly question, did you find any resonance in that, or did you actually think, oh wow, that's different to what I had?
No, there's a lot that goes on. There's a lot out there in films and in media that come from so-called true stories, you know, and from real experiences that happen. You know, so there's a lot of content out there that you see and you're like, okay, I can see what the deeper thing they're getting at is here, you know. And I think for me, being a filmmaker, and now discovering this world, spirituality and seeing, having my experiences growing up, because they are very profound, right?
Yes.
It's now for me I want to take the passion of filmmaking and take this newfound learning of spirituality and merge the two into what will be kind of the work going forward from this point, which will be exploring different religions and religious viewpoints and gurus, spiritual teachers, and creating content which is of a grounded nature. Like, we were having the discussion earlier, right? So Sukhi, full of his great wisdom and advice, we were talking about the skeptical side of things, and taking things with that viewpoint, and looking at spirituality from a very grounded perspective, because it is a real thing that's going on out there. And I think, for an audience of a young generation, they need that grounded element. You've got to bring the science in, you've got to bring that.
So where are we going with this conversation? So you're saying that your next iteration of journey, because I'm really excited to share this vision that you've got, and I hope our discussion earlier on helped a little bit about this, but the vision here is to take the skeptic view, the pessimistic view, the scientific view upon non-scientific explanations, make it simple, spirituality, and looking for various different genres and gurus. Is that correct?
Yep.
And I know you've already started this journey, so I'm going to talk about that in a moment, but and the synchronicities of things that we're talking about, flow, it's just beautiful to hear. When you've created this, is it like a double narrative? But from what I can understand, your vision is to do something like have a double narrative, having like a
absolutely, because there's a side of spirituality. That's the side that you're going to hear from the gurus or from the spiritual teachers, right?
Yes.
That's their understanding of things.
I get it now.
Then there's the everyday people like myself, and our version of it, and that's exactly how my journey unfolded.
Rejecting it first.
To understand it. And at this point, I'll bring in Jazz Bassi. Jazz Bassi is just an incredible human being. She is deeply gifted, extremely powerful. She's a spiritual healer, hypnotherapist. She does all these amazing things to help and heal people. And so it turns out me and Jazz ended up working in the same building together in Wolverhampton, and that's how we kind of crossed paths.
Now we're going to talk about synchronicity and flow.
Yeah, talk about synchronicity.
We will have Jazz. I haven't spoken to her, so I'm putting it out in the open. That we will have her soon on air with us as well. So
a really brilliant woman. She taught me a lot about the gift that I had and about spirituality
and how to bring it out.
Absolutely.
Other people as well. Yes.
Yeah.
So please do continue. So the synchronicity of you actually crossing paths with Jazz, and just to give you a profile for the listeners, Jazz is a spiritual healer and also an individual who's got an academic background and journey as well, but she ignites healing in other people, and so without stopping too much on Jazz, I'm going to go back onto yourself here. She ignited you, right?
Absolutely. And at the moment at that moment where we crossed paths, I think it was a year previous I'd lost my mum. I lost my mum to cancer. And that was a very difficult journey, but I have to say it was one of the most inspiring things I'd ever experienced.
Wow.
Because my mum went through that journey knowing that she had only got 6 months left to live. That's what she was told. And she made the decision to laugh, joke, and be positive every single day that she could before she left this earth.
Wow.
And that had like a huge impact on me.
That's such a beautiful message to everybody out there who probably is going through a similar thing themselves.
Yeah.
And you on the other side actually receiving this, and God bless your mum. In the light where she is now. She was my hero, going through, taking it that way and being that positive. That when she passed, I just was like in awe of her.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
wow, you faced death and you could still remain positive, right? Maybe that's where my positivity comes from.
Let that be that gift that it truly is.
Absolutely, yeah. And that kind of thrust me into my work, more so than ever, and I became more successful and more busy than ever.
So what you're trying to say to me is that by seeing the spiritual grounding in your mum, even facing the 6 to 9 months of her terminal illness, in our own sad ways, because I've recently lost my mum as well. It's been under a year last December. So you're saying that actually drew within you and showed you how, when you're leaving this life into the next, how you could still remain that very positive
Absolutely. Again, it's
energy,
about awareness,
resilience.
right? Where you place the awareness on the situation. So I kind of refused to. You're either going to build or you're going to destroy. And from that moment, I refused to destroy and I went on to build. It's all about positivity and spreading that.
I don't
placing the awareness within that because we all have to leave this life and we're all going to go for different reasons at different ages. That's just life. And so I was always very accepting that was her time. But what happened after that was I then wanted to take this newfound thing of spirituality, take that gift and make my life even more meaningful.
I can't explain to yourself. I mean, I've got a vibration, and I'm sure the listeners are feeling something as well. You've just touched on something so deep and beautiful, where you've got to find that positive energy. If you're either going to create or you're going to destroy. Yeah. And you've chosen to create. And you've also linked that very clearly and evidentially to your own ascension, your growth in business. Is that right?
But before we carry on, that growth and destruction, if we think about that for a moment, when you're building something, it's obviously takes more effort, right? If you're going to build a house, it's going to take way more effort than it is to destroy. And for that, I think people choose to destroy because sometimes it's the easier thing to do.
I love it. Easier thing. So don't take the easier option, right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. If you want to attain something great, it's going to take great effort. Nothing comes easy.
Yeah, please carry.
Yeah. No, so going back to Jazz and the work she does, she kind of just unlocked in me that understanding which I hadn't got through childhood and through growing up, seeing these things and having these experiences that I didn't have the understanding for. She gave me all that context, and she took me under her wing, and she taught me healing, and she taught me new perspectives. But here's the thing, and it goes back to our pessimistic thing. She came from. She's a spiritual healer, so she uses terminology like you surround yourself with an orb of light to protect yourself. And I'm thinking, what is she on about?
How does that relate to me?
What's she talking about? Yeah. But the science is out there. The science is starting to back this stuff up to be like,
it truly is.
Oh wow, that's what Jazz was telling me, you know. And now I'm seeing it in a scientific experiment.
Well, if people want to see scientific experiments, just Google heart math in California. They're showing so much of this evidence with the triangle of MIT. Sorry to disturb you there, but just a little link there. This is some of our viewers and listeners are actually thinking this is such an amazing conversation, and a couple of them said, "Can we have you back specifically to talk about this only?"
The spiritual stuff. Yeah, I think it's a time where the awareness is really spreading, and I think a part of what I can bring to the table is taking what I've learned, taking my experiences and the amazing people like Jazz that I've met, and building this like content for an audience that can learn, can then heal, they can grow.
So just to understand your next visions, because if anybody's been listening to us, and I apologise, we're finishing slightly early this evening. We're not apologising actually, but we're finishing slightly early this evening at 7:51, and there's a specific reason, because the Azan prayer, which is the Islamic prayer for the evening, is going to be called due to the month of Muharram, and also we'll have to wrap up very soon with an amazing conversation we've had with Simon so far, and I've thoroughly enjoyed it myself, and I hope everybody's had the same. We've still got another minute or so there's no problem, but we're going to be taking a break, and the Azan will come through, then 4 minutes of advertising.
You're listening to Salam Radio, and it's now time for Maghrib Azan. This Azan is sponsored by UK Islamic Mission, serving humanity since 1962.
Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allah. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدًا رسول الله أشهد أن محمد رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا
الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم وبارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم في العالمين إنك حميد مجيد. اللهم رب هذه الدعوة التامة والصلاة القائمة آت محمدا الوسيلة والفضيلة وابعثه مقاما محمودا الذي وعدته. اللهم آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. اللهم بك نحيا وبك نموت وإليك المصير. رضينا بالله ربا وبالإسلام دينا وبمحمد صلى الله عليه وسلم.
This Azan is sponsored by UK Islamic Mission, serving humanity since 1962.
Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back again. This is Sukhi, Wahiwala, and the Empower Hour. Thank you very much for staying with us. Welcome back, everybody. This is Sukhi, Wahiwala again, and we're having a slight technical issue there, but it's all good. And thank you very much for accepting my voice back again with Simon with us as well. But we've had an Azan which has got to be played at a specific time, and obviously it was 2 minutes earlier than scheduled. We thought it was going to be around about 53, which was now 51, but it's ended up being 49, so it's absolutely been fine. So welcome back. We've got another minute and a half to 2 with our amazing guest this evening, Simon Smith. And if you don't know anything about him, just Google him up, simonsmith.com, simonsmithmedia.com. Do apologise. And I'm going to welcome you back.
Suki, good to be back.
Yeah,
for these last couple of minutes. I mean, you said that hour would go quick. I did, didn't it?
It's gone. I have been engrossed in this conversation, and I hope the audience has been following it in the same way. I've been getting the feedback from the management team over here as well. Now, we just want to finish off the conversation here because I want everybody to understand how they can get hold of you, Simon. How would they get hold of Simon?
So I've just started now my new platform, which I'm calling The Truth Within.
The Truth Within, yes.
And so my Instagram handle is thetruthwithin.life, which will be linked to a blog site which is coming soon. And that's all content that's going to be generated while the video content is happening in the background, because video takes a long time. So,
yes.
Yeah.
So the content will be what kind?
So it's all going to be geared towards what we were talking about, spirituality and understanding it from a grounded level, so that people can digest it, they can learn about it, and get a better understanding for what's really going on out there. Especially since it's such a buzzword, right? Spirituality.
Yeah. I think spirituality is overused as well to a certain extent. So the conversation I've got in my brain is that this new project, this final project that you've got a gift in yourself to your kind of resonate. We talk about flow, but in my conversation with you earlier, flow is staying within your ecosystem, which is the flow of the river, which means we keep moving forward. But there has to be an end result, doesn't there?
There has to be a destination. It's important to have that end goal, so you have that focus. The river's got to flow somewhere, right? And that is the sea.
Well, again, we're running short on time. I can't believe how powerful this particular show has been. We've had so much contact and communication. It's been wonderful. Simon, how have you found it?
Oh, awesome. I would love to come back again if you would have me back.
It'll be a personal pleasure of mine to have you back here again. And, if you want to get in touch with ourselves on Empower Hour and you think we've got a guest opportunity, please put them forward to the platform, to the team over here, which is emailed in at info@salamradio.co.uk. Please keep in touch with ourselves or SMS me directly via the WhatsApp, which is 07745 278 978. If you need to get a hold of any of us here at the Salam Radio team, we're here to help. The Empower Hour has just been brought to you today with Simon Smith Media today, who has worked with the best in the industry and has turned into a spiritual absolute haven. See you next week.
Stay tuned to Salam Radio after this short ad break.
It doesn't take much to bring some difference. You give some change, which makes a change. Because nothing gets mileage like a charity. Just a little change turns into a chain. And before we know it, the results are massive. So give a little to make